So I was like, yes, that's what I'm going to do. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a story time again because you guys seem to like story times a lot. It's going to be a story time about my racist experience in Jakarta, Indonesia. So in my previous video, which I'm going to link somewhere here and in the description box below, I spoke about my experience being a black person, of specifically an African person in Indonesia. So if you haven't seen that video, it's gonna be here, or check the description box below. And please subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed yet, and follow me on Instagram if you're not following me. It's at Wale O Chronicles. And let's get into the story time. So I always start all my story times with clapping. I don't know why. Yeah, we like clapping a lot in Nigeria, I think. Even when we want it, I was like, anyway, okay. Focus. This story time. So let me remember the story clearly. Yeah. So one day, and this was only like this one experience, I have to say, this one experience I had in all the time I lived in Indonesia. So I won't say it's a really racist country. This is my personal experience again. But because they have black people in Indonesia, really. People from Papua New Guinea are actually, they look like me. So yeah, I don't want to get into that discussion because that's very political discussion about minority and majority. But yeah, so one day I went to a part of town where this African saloon was located, and I think they have quite a lot of African people living in this area. And so I went with a driver. For those that don't know, for expats living in Indonesia, you usually can hire a driver because the cost of living is quite low. So as an expat, you can usually afford to hire a driver. So anyway, I went with a driver, and then I went into the salon to make my hair, which was an absolute disaster anyway. So then by the time, like, we parked, the car was parked on the other side of the road in the hotel compound, because roadside parking is not really a thing. So I went into the salon to make my hair, which is story for another day, absolute disaster. Came out with a headache, and the sun was shining hot. It's hot in Jakarta, like 32 degrees or something like that on that blessed day. So I was already upset because I had a headache. The salon lady did not do the hair properly, and you know this African salon ladies, the old school ones, like, they always feel they know better than the person who is sitting down and like trying to figure out if I like this hair or not. So by the time I stepped out, I was calling the driver so that we can go, and then he wasn't picking. So I crossed the road, went into the hotel compound, and then I was looking for him, like, where is this man? And I was standing in the sun for like 15 minutes. I was already getting more agitated, and I couldn't speak the language. And English is not widely spoken in this in Jakarta. So I was calling him and calling him and calling him. I just said that 3 times because in Nigeria, when we want to show that something is really, really important, we say it 3 times or 2 times. Anyway, so I was calling this man and he wasn't picking up. So I saw a security guy sitting somewhere, and I was like, what's excuse me? Oh my god, I could speak this language a bit before, but now I forgot everything. I was like, permisi. Yeah, permisi is like excuse me in Bahasa Indonesia. So I saw the security man standing there, some kind of old guy, and I was like, permisi pa. Pa means mister in Bahasa Indonesia. So I was like, permisi pa. And then this man obviously could hear me, like he could hear that I was speaking to him, because other people sitting down, like in a congregated somewhere, they looked up and stopped what they were doing, and they were looking at me because I was saying permisi pa. Do you know this man stood up, passed like right in front of my nose, like this, passed right in front of me, and acted like I wasn't even air, oxygen. I mean, like, oh, what can I say, like you take for granted again. Now yeah, he just passed right in front of me like I was a ghost.
Missy Pa, the Missy Pa, and then
Wait, I was so shocked. I was like, wait, did this man just ignore me, or I'm just being like, maybe I'm seeing things, or like, what is going on here? So then I went again. The man passed me. He didn't answer me because I was trying to ask, like, please, you know where the person who parked this car went to, since I was calling the man and he wasn't picking his phone. And then I went closer to him again. By this time, everybody was already looking because I don't know, maybe it was the entertainment of the day or what, I don't know. And then I went closer to him. I was like, permisi. I didn't want to touch him because, of course, like, personal space. Like, I would, if I was the one, I wouldn't want somebody like touching me or poking me, like, excuse me, what's that? Anyway, so like I was so close, I was almost like touching him. Like I was saying, permisi pa, excuse me, sir, excuse me, sir. This man did not even shake. The man didn't even move. He didn't even like act like there was a human being talking to him. Second time around, I was like, are you serious? I was so mad. I mean, now I can laugh about it, but I was so upset. And at this point, by the time the wheels in my brain were already turning, like, wait, what should I do? How should I respond to this situation? Like, in the microsecond it took me to like, how am I going to react to this situation? Then suddenly, in the movies, the driver showed up and he was like, sorry. Oh, I forgot what sorry is. It was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I quickly went to do something, blah 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 blah. And I was like, I was so agitated. I was like telling him, like, this is what happened. Can you imagine? This man just acted like nobody was even speaking to him. And I was trying to ask him, where did the guy who parked this car go? And the guy was like, oh, madam, sorry, please, sorry. And I was just like, no, I have to let this guy. And do you know the funny thing? As soon as the driver came out from wherever he came out from, and the security guy saw that, oh, like, this is the driver I was looking for, and I came with this car, you need to see the way this guy's behavior changed, his countenance, his everything changed suddenly. So, like, after this experience, I don't know if it was a racist experience or an elitist thing. I really don't know where to categorize this thing, because this man suddenly changed. The man who could not see me before suddenly saw me, and he was smiling. He was like, he was trying to say, I don't know what he was trying to say. So in my mind, I was like, no, I have to make this guy understand that what he just did was absolutely wrong. And then my brain was churning. I mean, this happened like in the space of like a couple of seconds. This brain thing I'm explaining, and then I was like, oh, I remembered in my one of the Bahasa Indonesia class I was taking, because they teach you the language and some of the things about the culture. I learned that pointing at people is a very not acceptable thing in the culture. So it's very, very offensive and very rude. So like, yes, that's what I'm going to do. This man, I will point at you today so that you will know that what you just did is wrong. Is wrong. So I was like, oh no, I cannot let this guy go like that. So when he was smiling at me, and then he was like, I was like, oh, now you can see me. I was like, you, bad man. I was pointing in his eye like, you, like this, bad man. The man was like, he was so shocked. He was like, he was looking at me like I was the most evil person. And he was like, whatever, spoil your day like you wanted to ruin mine. Bye. So I got into the car and I just left. Like, for 30 or 45 minutes after that, I was still thinking, I was still in shock about how this man just acted like I wasn't there, and then he just changed suddenly. Like, what's that? I guess maybe I just feel bad for the African people that live in that environment and that community, because I don't know what must have been going on through the guy's head. Maybe because the car was parked in the hotel compound, maybe he thought I was like a prostitute or something. I don't know, because I don't know why he suddenly changed his behavior once the driver came out and it was obvious that I came with this car and this driver. So honestly, I don't know how to categorize this experience, but this is the only, I would say, negative experience. Okay, yeah, that's pushing it a bit, but this is the only this is the only negative experience tending towards racism or elitism. I don't know how to categorize it, that I would say. So, I've come to the end of this story time. Thank you very much for sticking with me for this long. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Thank you.